Trump that was the statue, okay? Which I thought, I go, oh my buddy, friend or whatever you want to acquaintance from BTR. Guess what he calls me? He calls me a homosexual because of the way I put up.
That's weird. Okay.
Well, yeah, but I don't. Here's the whole point. I mean, I don't. And this is another. He's a born again Christian allegedly. Whole point is we can't have I work at the airport as a limo driver in the evening. I work with a lot of people of different races, different backgrounds, if they're gay or straight, and we have great conversations because we respect each other's opinion. But the problem in this country, we need to hit the reset button because people are acting like idiots and no one knows how to have a conversation. Everyone shouts at each other, which will get you nowhere fast, and that's the problem. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm leaning towards Bill Hillary, then I want to go through Trump. I call him the tampon. She's the condom because he's typical of the tampon, and she'll be spectacular as a spent condom. I mean, it's going to just be this cluster here. But I just better call the show, and I'm listening to you on Spreaker. So I'll talk to you guys later. You guys.
I think
that's it.
I think from what you're saying, the bottom line is people don't listen. People want to hear their own voice, right. And that's why they raise their voice. You know.
I agree. I know, but you can have a conversation without yelling at each other. I agree. I love a good conversation. I really do. I love to. God gave you 2 ears for a reason. Listen. I just sick and tired of the shouting, the name calling. It's not going to get us anywhere in this country. There's an us in the USA. It's us. We work together as a country. Take care of veterans. Take care of our children, our handicapped. How you speak for animals, children, and elderly is how you speak as a man and a woman in this country. I don't care where you put your crank. I don't care who you make love to. Pay your taxes, behave yourself. And speak for our military out there, and go to work, pay your taxes, and love thy neighbor. And I don't care what color you are. Everyone matters in this country. I don't care where you work. God bless every class. God bless our military. God bless you guys. Live in the great state of Minnesota. My name is
my man, Kobe, before you go,
yeah.
I think we all got to realize, though, that network news and cable TV and the way that we watch them argue over politics there has kind of gotten to the American population. So you put one guy on the right, you put one guy on the left, and they scream at each other, don't make any sense. And we've kind of taken that discourse to our personal lives. So that's what we do now.
But I treat my wife with respect. I'm sorry. I gotta go. I gotta go to the airport. Okay. I gotta pick up a party at 10. I just followed you on Twitter. I'm on mainly Spreaker and TalkShoe. I'm on YouTube too. I just followed you on Twitter, so you guys behave.
Yeah, we're also.
Another time.
Okay,
all right,
great.
thank you.
Have a good one.
All right, real quick, you guys, real quick.
Yeah.
All right, you guys, man. This is William Jefferson Clinton, and I want to be seamless as semen on the blue draft. I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky. Yahoo.
Let me tell you, Cole, I feel your pain.
You got to work on that impression.
I feel your pain.
Listen,
all right.
We appreciate. Oh, he hung up already.
He hung up.
Right.
That was well. That's a good exchange.
Yeah.
And he's right. You know, people should learn to listen. You know, people are always talking over each other.
But you're right. And the best is when you listen to the politicians talk. I love it. You have the reporter or whoever ask them a question, and they answer something completely differently.
Well, you know,
that they were asked about.
But you got to say one thing: yelling and shouting basically is what got Trump where he is. You know, if he would have been a little more subdued, you know, and tried to talk about issues during the primaries, he wouldn't be the nominee right now. So, I mean, that's what people have come to expect from him. That's what they want from him.
Yeah.
That's the crazy part. The things that made him strong in the primary make him weak in the general.
Yeah.
Because you have to get down to specifics. And if you're not using talking points and pivoting from the questions, they're asking you, then they can back you into a corner. So he gets backed into a corner every week, not because they're going after Trump and the media is out to get Trump. It's because he's not using these talking points. The public relations people who work with these politicians, they come up with these talking points not because they're stupid. but they want the politicians to always have an escape and to not have to answer a question that they feel might hurt them. Well, that's why they give them those points. So in the primary, that worked well because everybody else was using those manicured, well-crafted points, and he was just speaking, and people wanted to hear that. They liked that. Oh, he's not PC. He's coming from the heart. They liked it. Now you get to the general, and simple, everyday, raggedy reporters are beating Trump up because he doesn't have the ability to pivot out of stuff like Hillary and these other people do.
Well, right now, he's keeping to the teleprompters basically the whole week. He's not talking off the cuff at all anymore.
Well, for this week anyway.
This week,
we'll see how long it lasts, and we'll see. Basically, my father used to have an expression: "Shit or get off the pot," And when it comes to the debate, he's going to have, because Hillary will challenge him on certain issues and raise points that he's not going to be able to get out of in front of millions of people.
Well, it depends who's asking the questions, because they never. You only talk to the narrator. You don't really talk to they don't talk to each other.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
Hillary can try to pivot. Hillary's going to try to pivot everything to foreign policy and the world and government machinations that Trump doesn't really know too well. He's cramming with Roger Ailes and those people to kind of be ready for this stuff. But she's going to try to keep it there. He's going to try to keep it to the economy. He has to keep it to the economy and jobs.
That's right.
To, throw out those one-liners. So, I mean, it's going to be, this might get Super Bowl type ratings, that first debate.
Unless, see if they have more than one debate. If they have two debates.
They have 3 debates scheduled.
Well, one could be about the economy. One could be about the economy. Well, he only wants one.
Who wants one?
One could be about the economy. One could be about foreign affairs. Okay, and the military, and then the last one could be about social issues. That's what people are thinking about. But like we said, he only wants to have one. He wants to get it all over with.
Who?
Trump.
Trump wants 3. He wants more. What are you talking about? Hillary's the one.
Does not want 3 debates.
He doesn't want 3 debates.
He doesn't want 3. That's going to be her strong point, because they're going to talk about policy and they're going to talk about things. Look, she's been around the government her whole damn life, so she knows how a lot of these things work. She has relationships in other areas that he doesn't have, and she's going to try to use that to her advantage. So she wants debate. Well, he wants to stick to her record, and he's going to keep bringing up her past. That's what he has to do.
Yeah. Well, if you look, here's the problem. She hasn't done a news conference since when?
In over a year.
Why? Because she's not good off the cuff. She's not
good on the mic. Yeah. She's not good on the mic.
Yep, exactly. She could only talk.
Well, but she readily admits she's not the kind of talker that her husband was or Barack Obama is. Okay, they can capture an audience. They can think quickly on their feet.
She got blown off the stage at her own convention. She got blown off the stage. So yeah.
I mean, her acceptance speech was nothing to brag about, really. I agree with you.
She just reads, nothing else. Anything she says, it's all read. No matter what you hear, no matter where she is, it's all given to her and spoon-fed. If they start rattling her, I think if they start rattling her in the debates...
No, if they start rattling him.
Her.
If they start rattling him, if he gets rattled, he's going to go off script, okay? And I think
that could go real bad.
And he's going to lose it.
And if he yells at her like he yelled at some of those Republicans in the primary, that's going to look horrible optically on TV. A man yelling at a woman. So he's got a fine line he's got to walk there, man.
Because the media is going to say, if he's going to act this way in a debate, what's he going to do when he's talking to Putin? What's he going to do when he's talking to the president of France or the prime minister of England?
And beyond the media, just the living room. Think about yourself. I think I said this before on the show, but think about if you get into an argument with your girlfriend at the grocery store. No matter if she's wrong or you're right, you look like the bully. And people watching, like, optically, that's not going to look good.
That's very
true. He's got to control himself the whole time. He can't let too much of it out. He's got to kind of be measured, and that'll be difficult. But like I said, the other part of it is Hillary's bad on the mic, so she has to depend on him failing because, you know, like you said, she's not good.
Well, the only thing I can see should be interesting, I think they're supposed to have about 1/4 of the debate where they just go at each other head on. That should be interesting.
Yeah.
Narrator, they're gonna, narrator's gonna step back from what I understand, and they're gonna start going at it.
Yeah, but even before they go at it, they're gonna tag on things to the question asked. Oh, I'm glad you asked that, and I'd be interested to hear what, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What the distinguished gentleman has to say about foreign policy and Ukraine. You know what I mean? Like, that's going to be done too. Like, she's going to pull that a lot to where she tries to back him into a corner and make him answer foreign policy questions.
Yeah.
And he has to do that to her on the economy. He has to get her to not only own the Clinton crime bill, but, you know, the economy right now that's been Democrat for 8 years, 7 years. Like, he has to back her into that.
Yeah. I mean, Obama's, his approval rating is great, but he's done nothing for the economy.
Nope.
How can you, when you look at the statistics.
Truthfully, presidents don't. Presidents get the benefit of a good economy, then they claim credit for it. A bad economy, they say they're working on it. But either way, it's not really dependent on the president. That's like one of those things that we do for some reason.
Well, but on
the president, man.
On paper, if you compare the statistics to when Obama took over from Bush, okay, and what the unemployment rate was and how many jobs were being lost every month and who was filing for bankruptcy, I mean, it was terrible. It was horrendous. And then if you start... Yep. After the first 6 or 7 months of Obama's presidency, you started to see a little bit of light, a little bit of progress. Jobs were being,
Right. But let's swap those out. Let's say Obama was the incumbent and Bush was the guy coming in. If you have a housing crisis and a derivative crisis in the market worldwide that destroys the economy, a president can't do a thing about that. You just happen to be the guy on watch when it happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you swap it out, it would have been the same thing. So, you got to get Obama gets credit for the recovery, but what else was he gonna do? Of course, he had to pump money into the economy to try to stabilize. You know what I'm saying?
And then,
but it wasn't because
Well, and then he was being blamed for inflating the national debt. But the thing is, for the American people to recover. A lot of economists were saying he should have put even more money into the economy, but the Republicans wouldn't let him.
Yep.
But listen, he put all that money, he got it all back. I mean,
you're talking about TARP. I'm talking about monies that were put into the private sector and everything in order to get people back on their feet. I'm not talking strictly about.
What did he put in? I don't even know what he put in. I know
you go back to that stimulus package, man. It was a huge portion, but it should have been more, like he's saying. But it couldn't be more because on the Republican side, if you let this guy spend all this money and the economy starts to hum again, then it looks like it's because of him. And now he puts that on his resume and acts like he did it. You know what I mean? So you swap it out again. You put a Republican in that position, they would have done the same thing. That's why George Big Bush, when he had to do, read my lips, and he had to go back on that, it wasn't because he was a bad dude. It was because the economy called for it, and he had to go back to taxes.
He never should have said what he said in the first place.
Exactly.
You got to always be careful what you say because it comes back to bite you in the end. Sometimes.
That's
it
true.
Really does.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good old.
But presidents love taking credit for a good economy, though. You know what I mean? They love doing it.
Well,
Well,
and unfortunately, wherever he's been pumping the money,